They're, fun is probably the best way to say it because it's it's always awkward my live streams because
All right.
Paul,
he's back already.
He's back. Perfect. Okay. Perfect timing.
So I'm glad you guys stayed in the meeting.
Good.
I'm very glad that you guys stayed in the meeting.
So
now I'm getting echo.
Yeah, no, that was just me on the that was just me on the tablet so that I can see chat and respond to anybody.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So we are live, Paul. You came back.
All right.
You came back at the perfect time. So let me get us started and say welcome to the first ever Talking Mando. With me, your host, Thaddaeus from Going Nerdy. Clearly you're on my channel. Welcome. But I am joined by two fabulous, fabulous content creators, the gentlemen of the Escape Pod cast, Paul Anthony and Neil Andrew Eyre. Welcome, gentlemen. Welcome, Paul. Welcome, Neil.
Thank you. It's glad to be here.
Hello.
Hello.
Good to see you guys, or you to see me.
Yes. Oh, man. As
I don't
always,
think anybody can see us, though.
I don't think anyone can. I don't know why that's not.
The
there
video's
we are.
Gone.
There we are.
There we are.
There we are. Okay. What would it be? What would a Going Nerdy live stream be without technical difficulties? Because that's kind of what I do. Now, today, we're going to talk about the Mandalorian, Episode 1. And for those of you who haven't seen it, I believe, and I plan on talking spoilers. So if you haven't seen it, be prepared. Right, guys?
Oh, yeah.
You should definitely turn off your... if you haven't seen it and you're spoiling yourself, sorry.
Yeah. It's going to happen. Now, here's... welcome, D-Perks. I gotta say. Initial thoughts. I loved it.
I was absolutely floored by this entire first episode. It started out without a crawl. It started out without any narration. It started out with nothing that could have that could have set up the story. You were invited right into the Mandalorian's domain as he is tracking his first, or not his first bounty, but one of many bounties that we get to see.
Yeah.
It was a proper story. It had a beginning, it had a middle, and it had an end. You're introduced to the Mando. You're told a little bit about him. You see him, and you instantly know, oh, right, okay, so this guy's a bounty hunter because he's chasing after a bounty. And then you get the story, obviously the introduction of the Carl Weathers character.
Oh,
and then you get the middle where he's doing various different bits and pieces and meeting various different other characters. And then you get the end. And it was so satisfying to sit and watch this. It really, really was. It's like I understood everything as it went through each phase of this episode. And yeah, I do have one slight criticism from a Star Wars purist is Star Wars is supposed to be space opera, so as a thespian, I'm not going to be too overly critical, but I would have preferred the score to have been a little bit more operatic. It sounded a little bit too space western to me.
So that is one of the things that I absolutely loved about it, is because this was meant. I mean, Dave Filoni and what's his face, Happy.
John Favreau.
Thank you. Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau have made this in the vein of the spaghetti westerns of old, right? So the Western style movies that went on that, and so it is very reminiscent of that. That opening scene, which again, for anyone who hasn't seen it, is that moment when in the bar where he walks in and you see those guys going like, "It's Mando." You're like, it's whatever. that was reminiscent.
Hut Cartel, by the way.
Who? Say it again.
They were the Hut Cartel.
Were they?
Yes.
I didn't pick up on that.
They were speaking Huttese.
Okay. So Hut Cartel, where they're going against the guys. Just a cool, like, I was waiting for Batwing doors to open. You know, it was a great moment and a great way to begin this whole thing, I think.
I was waiting for that because it was just it had that Western, that space Western feel about it. And I do like that. I did like that theme.
Yeah. 100% agree.
So I you know what? I'm really glad that you have Neil up there and you keeping us apart, because he just said, and no, don't beat up Thad. He just said he didn't like it because it was space opera and it was Western, and now he's just agreeing with you, Thad. Do you see?
No. I like the theme. I like the visual theme. It was I would have preferred the music to have been a little bit more operatic. That's my constructive criticism. Is just wanting it a little bit, just a touch more, a skosh more operatic.
See, and I'm right there. I just think to myself, it's my charm and charisma that has won Neil over. He can say what he wants, but it's all me, man. I'm the one that did it. So I've convinced him. Okay, all right. We loved it. The space opera was great. The Western was so cool. I gotta say, one of the things that I really enjoyed about this was it showed the difficulty of the bounty hunter life and what life's been like under the loss of the Empire. So one of the things that I was thinking of, he took all of those bounties, captured them all before he went back to claim them, right? Like, I don't know, as I was watching that, I was just thinking that, like, that has to, and then when he goes and claims them, he's like, hey, that's not even going to cover my fuel, right? The gas.
Because he was only allowed to get one of the bounties. He wanted to take all the bounties. But he's like, there are other members of the guild. And so, this one's paying 5,000. That won't even cover fuel.
Yeah, but that's my point. Like, he has to go and collect all of the bounties at once for this profession to even be, viable for him.
Mm-hmm.
So it really shows the degradation the Empire's gone through without the Empire, without all of this. It's struggling, right? The whole galaxy is struggling at this point. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, no, it had like a gritty feel to it, that bounty hunting isn't this wonderful, amazing life, it's a grind, and people have to work, even the best, and they said that right at the start, he's the best, and even being the best doesn't make you famous, it doesn't make you wealthy, you still got to grind it out.
I just saw Sir Boss's comment, and no, we're not going there. We are not going to become brown coats over this darn thing. By the way, with the reception of this first episode, I don't know if you saw it, but it was either Dave or John that posted hello from filming for season 2 of The Mandalorian.
Yay!
Oh, I muted it. My bad. Thanks for pointing that out, Sir Boss. I muted it because I was typing, and then like an idiot. Didn't unmute
We were
it.
hearing him.
Yeah. So here's the thing, right? 10 million people signed up for Disney Plus on Monday, day before launch. So if you were having trouble streaming, and I wasn't one of those people that had trouble. I watched it. I'm sitting in a coffee shop. I'm sitting in Starbucks, and I'm watching it. And I've got my feet underneath me. I got my hands up by my mouth, and I'm giggling with excitement.
I know. It was so. It was brilliant.
And I know that people were looking at me funny, and I'm like, woo! I'm just freaking out. And then we'll get to the finale here in a bit, but just super excited. Then I'm at work the next day watching it on what should have been my preparation period for teaching. Awesome, just amazing, loved it. But people struggled to see it. And it's because so many people signed up. And I have to believe that it was because of the excitement around The Mandalorian. I don't think...
Well, yeah, it's their only original content.
Yeah.
Everything else that's on that site, and don't get me wrong, there is some cracking stuff. There's some brilliant stuff on that site. I mean, there is some old Disney 70s movies, $1 Million Duck and The Cat from Outer Space, which are just awesome kids movies that I never thought I'd see again. But the only original content is The Mandalorian. So there's no way to know how many of those 10 million people signed up for this original content series, but it's got to be the lion's share of it.
That's true. And Sir Boss points out that the world, according to Jeff Goldblum, is also new content. But I mean, who wouldn't sign up for Jeff Goldblum as well? I mean, I see him as part of the universe. So,
did you watch the Jeff? I know this is Talking Mando, but did you watch the Jeff Goldblum thing at all?
No, I haven't had time. My kids have been awake, and I've been watching The Little Mermaid and.
The episode of the Jeff Goldblum show that he's doing was all about the world of sneakers and how pretty much sneakers have become the new trading cards of today.
Oh.
And you'll see that quote in there. I'm not going to spoil anything on the episode, but it actually is quite enthralling, kind of like Netflix Explains or kind of the how it's made of sneaker culture.
Huh. All right. So now I've got to watch it. I mean, I love Jeff Goldblum, but I now, because I'm a sandals fan, but I appreciate shoes. I'll have to watch it. So, okay.
Next week is about ice cream.
Oh, well then I'm definitely going to watch next week's.
Exactly.
I love ice cream. I enjoy it more than most things that are bad for me. Okay, back to The Mandalorian.
Yes.
The ship. Can we talk about the ship? Because the ship is awesome. And I do genuinely think that this is John and Dave kind of paying slight homage to, the old extended universe fans, because the ship is so similar to the ship that the bounty hunter ship that Forlom and Zuckuss had from the original trilogy. If you've read some of the old comics back from the 90s, they flew a ship that was so like this. I mean, the Mist Hunters kind of shape was exactly like this, but it had a foil on the back. And obviously you've just got the two engines at the back of Mando ship, but on Zuckuss and Forlom's ship, it had a foil on the back. So I see that, and it just makes me think: are we going to see a cameo from some old school bounty hunters in this? Because that would be so awesome. But the ship just looked beautiful.
Now, two things about the ship, and to answer that question about old bounty hunters. So I've got this ship up here, or I've got this shot from the episode 9, right?
Rise of Skywalker.
Rise of Skywalker.
This was from the teaser.
This is from the teaser. Does that not look just like underneath the hammerhead, in front of what has to be Han's freighter, right before the Millennium Falcon drops down? That looks just like the Mando ship. Am I wrong? Am I mistaken?
I think you're mistaken. And even if it is that ship, it's not Mando's ship, because, you know, for us to think in a galaxy far, far away, that they would only make that the manufacturers of these ships would only make one of them is a stretch. And I'm hoping that it's not his ship, and that it's just something that looks similar to it.
All right.
A bit like Mando's ship looks similar to Forlom and Zuckuss' ship.
All right. I get it. Paul, what do you think?
So I'm trying to pull it up here because I'm going to use, I'm pausing the stream for a second. So it's not coming through. Don't worry. I think it has more of a fin on the top. I'm hitting my microphone. I think it has more of a fin on the top. So I think that it's another piece of merchandise. I mean, a different ship.
Yeah.
That we'll see.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, because let's face it, Star Wars isn't about the merchandise. I mean,
merchandising.
I did hear, and this is another slight tangent. I did hear that the Mel Brooks was going to, when and if Star Wars came out with a sequel trilogy, he would do his sequel to Spaceballs.
Spaceballs. Oh, that would be such an awesome sequel.
I would love that. I love all Mel Brooks movies. They're hilarious. But anyways, that would be great. Okay. Side note. Back to Nev. Neil, you said that you're wondering if we get a prequel, or not a prequel, a visitation from other people. Now,
I would like to see not introducing it in, but I think it would be the perfect time to introduce cameos. I'm not talking, bring someone in and keep them in for an entire season. I'm talking throw them in an episode here and there. Throw in Zuckuss, throw in Forlom, throw in Bosk. Hell, throw in Boba Fett, because Boba Fett is, 5 years after the Return of the Jedi, Boba Fett's still alive. The Mandalorian is the perfect platform for Disney to reintroduce some old EU canon stuff.
Absolutely.
And they need to do it. If they do it, The Mandalorian will go on forever and ever and ever. It will overshadow the movie. It will overshadow the movie of Episode 9, but we need some. This is the best fan fiction, as far as I'm concerned, that Disney has introduced. It really, really is the best fan fiction that they've brought in so far.
Yeah,
and they have the opportunity to expand on that and bring back some old EU stuff.
I 100% agree with you. You have spoken. Paul, what are you thinking?
Now, I believe I saw something that no characters, that everything is new. So, I mean, even what we're going to talk about at the end pretty much points to that, the internet theory that's out there right now is totally incorrect. Now, they're talking about how everything in this show is going to be new. Is it going to be new, and will it stay new? Because let's jump to talk about the release schedule right now.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Paul, because this is going to be huge. I don't think it, but I want to hear where you go with it.
So we get one episode every Friday until the week that Rise of Skywalker comes out.
Yes!
We get one on Wednesday, which is the day before that people can go and see it if they don't have ticket box office premiere ones. So I'm thinking that in the I think it's episode, how many episodes are there?
8.
There's 8 episodes. So episode 7 is going to introduce someone that we will see in Rise of Skywalker during episode 7 of The Mandalorian. Now, once again, I'm so glad that you are between Neil and I, because he thinks that this is an entirely terrible idea.
Yes, I do believe that this is an entirely terrible idea. The Mandalorian needs to stand alone. Right now, we are in this wonderful, wonderful phase of the fandom that was split because of the movies, episodes 8 and, episode 7. And, there's no denying that it split the fandom. Right now, the fandom is 100% united behind this TV show. 100% united behind this TV show. This TV show will make Disney millions. It will make them absolutely millions. And all it's going to do is piss off half the fandom if they put anything from the movies in this show. If they put anything from episode 9 or cross over anything from this show to episode 9, it's going to piss off the half of the fandom that currently love it. And I just think that, they should protect The Mandalorian. They should protect this TV show. They should keep it 5 years after Return of the Jedi. Throw some cameos in there from the remnant of the Empire. Throw some New Republic era stuff in there. Throw some EU stuff in there. Keep all these wonderful new characters that are going to be thrown at us, because I like the Carl Weathers character. The Pedro Pascal character of the Mandalorian is brilliant. I hope we get some more Werner Herzog, because the guy is just brilliantly creepy. Mm-hmm. And they just need to be careful. I think that they should proceed with caution. And if they do have somebody in episode 7 that then turns out to be in episode 9, I'm not going to know about it, because I won't be going to watch episode 9 anyway.
Okay, so
but before you jump in there, Thad, I just have to point this out. The toxic fandom of episode 7 and 8 are all upset because of Rey and because of Finn. And so if we see Negasonic Teenage Warhead, I can't remember her name right now. Gina Carano. Gina Carano. So as soon as they introduce Gina Carano, if they have, the equivalent of, in Family Guy, a Meg episode, you're going to see this toxic fandom come back again.
No, anyway, not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Dad, go ahead. Sorry, but
okay. No, so I don't know. I think it'll depend on how they do it. She is going to be a great character. I think she'll be introduced in the next episode, which is at the moment tomorrow. I mean, hours away. We will see the next episode for this. But I absolutely think that this is. I agree with you, Neil, that we have to have a mix. We have to get people from the old version, the old EU that is no longer canon, which is frustrating, right? We have to get a lot of content to connect where we are in the universe currently, right? There are still people who are alive that need to show up, at least in cameo. Now,
yeah, when
I told Paul this week when he was watching it, and he was live texting me, I guess. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, "Okay, Paul, let's chat." And he's like, "Oh, this happened, and then this happened. Oh my gosh!" And at least that's my impression of Paul. I think that we have seen already a connection between episode 7 and The Mandalorian, and I'm going to bring it up here on the screen real quick. Now, if you look at this image, okay? This image that I'm showing on the live screen is a picture of the guy that Kylo Ren kills in episode 7 in the Force stream, right? That hat, I forget the hat, belongs to a Kubaz, I believe, or a special class of people who are connected or who lived on Jakku, right? And so as the Mandalorian is walking into, and I'm sorry that I don't have it up on the screen, but as the Mandalorian is walking in to redeem his credits for all that he's been doing, you see a character with a hat just like this. And my first thought was, this is Imbo. Like, this is Imbo. And I told that to Paul. I was like, this is Imbo is here. And he's like, no, you're wrong. The shape of the hat.
It's too round.
Yeah.
It's way too round.
And it's and when he told me that, it was like I was neutered, and it hurt because I would love to see Imbo. We know for anyone who's read the books from the new canon, Imbo was at the Battle of Jakku. He's alive. He's older, obviously, but he's alive. And so and he's operating. That's the key point. He's operating. So it would be cool to see some of those characters who were in Clone Wars, who were in other areas of the universe. But I'm going to disagree with you. I do think that there's going to be a lot more connection between this show and the sequel trilogy.
I think we're going to see Zori Bliss. My prediction right now for episode 7 is we will see Zori Bliss in the 7th episode of Mandalorian, to just get a taste of what we're going to expect when we see her in Rise of Skywalker.
All right. Neil, what are your thoughts?
Yeah. He thinks I'm crazy.
Well, you are, but
I'm going to stick with my current thing. The characters that have been presented to us they're currently in their infancy. Sure. But nobody is being critical of the characters. Everybody's reviewing it, everybody's giving it plenty of kudos. The characters are good. They've got they've cast excellent actors in the roles, and I hope that it blends. I'm really, really looking forward to the Gina Carano character, because she kicked ass in Haywire, she kicked ass in Deadpool. So hey, they're saving on a stunt man, because they're not going to need a stunt double for her. She will do all of her own stunts, which is going to make her character much, much more real than some of the Marvel characters that we get that have all got stunt doubles. We know that Black Widow's got a stunt double. We know that Captain Marvel has a stunt double. That they've all got stunt doubles. Gina Carano does not use a stunt double. So all of the, I think that they have cast her because it's like, we need someone that A, can act, B, can fit this character, and C, kicks ass without needing a stunt double realistically. And she fits the bill on all three of those. And there will be no toxicity from fans towards her, because I think that they have cast someone good to play a role. Now, the only place it falls down is if the character's bad. And I don't think the character's going to be bad because of the caliber of the actress that they've hired to portray this, this character in the show. And, the only reason to hire her is someone that's a good actress that kicks ass. So she's got to kick ass. And I think that is going to be one of the reasons why she becomes just as beloved as Leia or Hera or Snips or many, many, many of the other loved and beloved female characters within the Star Wars universe. Obviously, there are exceptions to that rule. There are female characters that, in my opinion and in other people's opinions, don't, cut the mustard. But I'm really, really hoping that she'll be a good one, because they've cast an excellent actress that has the potential to kick some serious ass. And I hope she's not just, one episode or two. I hope that she's there and it's kind of like a team up scenario with the Pedro Pascal Mando character.
Well, speaking of a character that lasted one episode, allegedly. IG-11. Can we talk about the robot?
Yeah, droid.
Or shall I initiate self-destruct?
Initiate self-destruct. So first off, hilarious, right? I mean, I can't be the only one that laughed every time he said that.
No, the brevity, the introduction of brevity into a very, very intense scene was perfectly timed.
Yeah, just great. The pace. Cubs fan Han said this in a tweet. The pacing of this, as far as the story goes, the storyline goes, was phenomenal. But the same with the dialogue. The pacing of the dialogue was just amazing. As I watched it, I was like, "Oh!" It was wonderful.
Mm-hmm. And the one-liners were there as well.
Yeah,
there was some good one-liners, not cheesy. There was some good one-liners. You know, I liked the one at the start. You know, you can come hot or you can come cold. Yep. I loved that. You know, yes, that's punchy. He's a man of very few words, but when he speaks, you want to hear what he's got to say.
Absolutely.
There was a cheesy line, and it was more slapstick than it was cheesy. When the Mandalorian told IG-11, above you, shoots up, and then 2 seconds later the body drops.
That was awesome, though. Come on.
I liked that. I thought that was good because he's a droid. You know, he knows where fire's coming from, so a droid's going to be able to do something like that, especially an assassin droid.
Yeah,
but that was you said there was no cheesy. That was cheesy. You have to.
It was.
If you want cheese, how about the hilarious things that the bad guys were saying while they were shooting? I heard, I'm sure I heard an Hakuna Matata in there, and I'm sure I also heard a boya, which is from I heard a boya from. From Going Places.
Yeah.
So I heard, I heard a Lion. I'm sure I heard a Lion King reference in there, and I'm sure I heard a Going Places reference in there, and then obviously they started, laughing because they thought that they were surrounding them. I think that the actors. The background actors that were playing those roles were laughing because they were just told by the just say gibberish, just come up with random gibberish. We're going to quiet it down in the background. And the background actors were like, I'm going to say Hakuna Matata, and another guy's like, yeah, I'm going to give it that a boya. I thought that was quite funny. It was amusing to me because I was poring over every single frame and every single soundbite, just looking for Easter eggs, because I'm a nerd.
Well, let's jump back, Thaddeus, and talk about one of the most recognizable Easter eggs this.
Are we going there already?
We're going to talk about some Kowakian monkey lizards.
Oh, thank you, sir. I got to say, Salacious B. Crumb has always bugged the hell out of me. And one of the things that I thoroughly enjoy is knowing that the Kowakian monkey lizard is actually edible. I think that is a wonderful thing to know, because those guys really just need to be eaten.
Well, so we talk about cheesy here a moment ago. I do you remember what I said when I saw the Kowakian monkey lizard on the stick? Its name was Delicious B. Crumbs.
Delicious B. Crumbs. And he probably was. Did you see the way he was roasting? It looked delicious. I mean,
yeah, it did look tasty.
It did. I mean, anything rotisserie is good. I mean, as someone who enjoys eating, anything rotisserie is delicious. But that actually,
your famous last words, anything rotisserie is good.
Yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed that. Now, I will say, Sir Boss, he brings up a good point, because while I was happy that the monkey lizard was being cooked, it was devastating to see the next monkey lizard sitting there, like, sad and like watching his buddy be eaten. Like, that was like heart-wrenching to watch. Oh my gosh. Like, it was devastating.
Well, I mean, clearly that that settlement that the Mando is in is suffering some hard times, and
Sure.
you know, people are going to eat whatever they can get their hands on, and you know, if it's in an area where the you know, if it's in an area where there's lots of bounty hunters, then you're going to get Hut clans involved, and if Hut clans are involved, then you know, maybe those things instead of being traded for pets end up being food, because it's hard for the civilians that live in those settlements to actually, you know, make a living and put food in front of themselves.
Sure.
Well, you know what you need to wear when you're eating a Quakian monkey lizard?
What?
A bib Fortuna.
That was terrible. Paul.
I bring the comedy.
You do. That's why we have you here. That and your looks. Okay. Where were we? Okay.
All over the place.
All over the place. This has no. We are all over the place. Okay. Mandalorian IG-88 or IG-11. Here's my thought. Okay. I watched this Tuesday morning, shortly after I had watched Rick and Morty's season 4 live stream or season 4 debut. Okay. And without spoiling anything for Rick and Morty, because I'm not going to be that guy here, I'll spoil the hell out of Star Wars, but not Rick and Morty. I'm not, you know. One of the things that I think is that IG-11 is going to have some kind of backup, right? He is going to send himself to another droid where he can continue doing his work, right? I don't think we've seen the last of IG-11. Or if we have,
no.
I'm going to be really upset.
No, the IG droids can transfer their consciousness. I noticed that Xylo mentioned that, you know, he was bummed that we got IG-11 instead of IG-88s, because IG-88's dead, mate, unfortunately. IG-88 transferred his consciousness into the central computer of the second Death Star, literally moments before it was destroyed. He found himself on the Death Star. He realized that he could effectively take over the Death Star and rule the galaxy as the ultimate bounty hunter. And then the rebels blew it up. So if John Favreau and Dave Filoni do go back into the old EU content to look for ideas and look for characters to, you know, introduce into the show as cameos, they will heed my warning and not bring IG-88 back, because IG-88's conscious was destroyed when he took over the second Death Star.
Oh, but you're all excited for Chewie, it being in these new films, but you know,
I'm not excited for Chewie being in the new films.
How
you were talking about him.
He's earned the right to be in those movies. The dude's over 200 years old. He's got a right to be in any bloody movie.
Okay, but then if we're going to be going through the entire EU and sticking to that, then there is no Chewie for veteran Chewie, and you wouldn't have to Gear 13 that item.
Oh,
no,
let's
Chewie is still alive 5 years after Return of the Jedi. Vector Prime is 19 or 20 years after Return of the Jedi. So, you know,
and Rise of the Skywalker time.
Yeah, exactly. Why I don't like him.
So I will say, as far as Chewie's death, I hope that he lives happily ever after with a farm of porgs. But the only way to have killed Chewie, the only way to have effectively killed a character like that would be to throw a moon at him.
Yeah, you drop a moon on that. You drop a moon on them.
That's the only way to do it, and the only way to do it justice. Otherwise, he needs to grow old, farm porgs, and live happily ever after with his, Wookiee life mate.
Well, look right over Neil's left shoulder. That's no moon.
Yeah, that's no moon.
That's no moon.
That's a space station.
All right. So IG-88, Also, I mean, here's the other thing too, and this is why I think that we haven't seen the last of him. Is aside from everything that has been said canonically, I mean, what I don't know how to say his name properly, but like Tico Tuwati, the guy who plays him, he's not a minor person, right?
He's a big director.
He's a big director, and
so's Werner Herzog.
Yeah, I mean, this is a huge cast of names that I don't think they're going to start getting rid of some of them right off the bat. I think that we'll see more of them.
I'd like to see them get big names, quality A-list actors to do cameos. The Orville does it, and I think the Mandalorian can do it. Obviously, the Orville does it in a more comedic manner, but when you hire quality for cameos, you get quality.
Exactly.
Well, we had a quality comedic cameo right in the beginning,
the very beginning.
Yes, we did. Brian, what's his name again?
Brian Posehn, Bert from Big Bang Theory.
From Big Bang Theory, yeah, Bert from Big Bang Theory. Yes,
but Brian Posehn as the taxi driver, if you will, from the opening. I mean, that's
that was a great little comedic cameo. Brilliant little cameo. That's what I'm talking about. That's the type of quality cameo that they can throw into the Mandalorian as good filler, because that was good filler. That was really good, solid filler in the show.
Okay, so you call it filler. This was solid storytelling. I was thinking about this. If you see that moment when he's like, the Mandalorian, the first ship pulls up and it's got a droid, and he's like, no droids, right? You know, my first thought was, Mos Eisley Cantina, your kind aren't welcome here, right? Then you have, the guy show up and he does his thing, and it's kind of this moment. It's like, okay, why didn't he want droids? Then you have the flashback scenes later on, and in the back of the flashback scenes, did you guys notice what was shooting at those refugees or the escapees as they were running or fleeing for their lives?
Separatist droids,
right? One of the things that I don't think I ever noticed in the old canon and the old books as I read them or listened to them or whatever, was just how much people distrust droids because of the separatist movement. And I think that was so cool to see that. It's just a little bit more character development as to why the Mandalorian doesn't like droids. And then seeing him partner with IG-11 at the end was this really cool moment to further develop the character of the Mandalorian, the gunslinger here. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, but they do tend to put that distrust of droids. I mean, it was in the original trilogy. It was in Star Wars. Your droids, they'll have to wait outside. We don't serve their kind in here. In Star Wars Rebels, the droids were made to go, to the back of the passenger ship. I think it's a clever continuation of something that's been in the in Star Wars canon. It's a good continuation. There is a strong distrust from certain elements of the galaxy that distrust droids, and I think it was well pointed out. It's very, very fleeting. It's there and it's gone. I don't disagree with you that the flashback sequence helped us understand where his distrust from droids comes from, and it's just it's adding to his backstory, and that backstory I'm sure we will learn more about as the season progresses.
Yeah, agreed. Let's talk about the armor real quick. Okay, now are either of you super like Mando lore experts? Because I'm not.
No, a lot of the there was very, very little Mandalorian lore generated in the books and the comics. The majority of the Mandalorian lore was generated during the Clone Wars animated series, wasn't it, Paul?
Yes. Yeah.
And then we had some more. And then we had some more more of it introduced into Star Wars Rebels.
Yeah.
So a lot of the lore that has been generated, a lot of the Mandalorian lore has been generated by the Clone Wars and by Star Wars Rebels.
Okay, so one of the things that was interesting to me was he's paid in Beskar. The Beskar is the metal that builds the armor, right? And as just looking at this thumbnail that I've used here, you see he doesn't have any Beskar aside from maybe the helmet, right? The helmet's probably made out of Beskar steel, but the rest of his outfit, the rest of his uniform, is just straight, probably like Durasteel or something that's strong, but it's not.
It's strong enough to deflect blasters.
Yeah,
So which took the blaster bolt at the beginning.
Yeah, no, he did.
He's been taking a lot of fire. So the armor saved his skin on more than one occasion, which is brilliant because that's what armor's supposed to do.
Yeah, true.
Never works with stormtroopers. Yeah, they are the red shirts of the Star Wars universe.
But
it's good to see. Yeah,
the cool thing that I thought that I liked about this is when they melt down the Beskar and they give him the shoulder pad, right? They give him the I forget the true name of it, but they give him a piece of armor. And if you go back and you watch the clips of the trailers, you see that by the end or somewhere in this first season, he's going to be fully decked out in all Beskar armor. Right?
Yeah. Well, hopefully Werner Herzog gives him some more Werner Herzog, the client that hired him the client that hired him. Hopefully he hires him more and more and more, because obviously the bounty has been the bounty's going to get paid off because he's going to return Mini Yoda intact, alive. So the doctor played by Omid Batani,
yes,
who's used to do voices in the Clone Wars,
by
the way. So he's going to be there to do whatever experiments and tests on this 50-year-old baby. And obviously that is going to be a continuation, but obviously he's going to go back, he's going to return this 50-year-old baby, and I hope that Werner Herzog sticks there as and he is like, oh, what, now you've got to go get this person, now you've got to go get this person, now you've got to go get that person, and he starts collecting all of these different bounties for specific reasons that hopefully we find out at the end of season 1.
Okay, now I'm gonna say this. I'm glad you brought up Clone Wars, because the Doctor, that would be awesome if the Mandalorian had Beskar nipples, like the Batman suit, right? Like Bat nipples, he has Mando nipples. That was only Batman versus Robin. It wasn't all the Batman movies. It was just Batman versus Robin. But that's the best one.
No, it isn't. It's the bloody worst one.
Okay. So here's the thing. The Doctor, they give him a name and I forget what it is.
Yeah, I can't remember the character's name off the top of my head.
He's got a patch on his arm that a very, very eagle-eye Dr. Pershing, something, yes. Thank you, Xevious. He is a Kaminoan doctor. On his uniform.
So it's going to have something to do with cloning then.
Yes. Thank you, Emperor Gubatine. So, I've got to say that this is Thaddeus digging through the bottom of the barrel, bringing on Nev. I also brought on Paul, but he left and
his PC's crashed.
Yeah. Anyways, he left because he was the very bottom. But if this is a Kaminoan doctor, if he is wearing the patch and he is looking for Baby Yoda, okay, everything kind of falls into place. The Emperor, what was he doing before he left? He was collecting all Force-sensitive children, right? If you go to, I don't mean to be doing this. This isn't because I am a Hondo fanboy, but if you go to the book Hondo Pirate's Price, there is a mini story in there where Hondo, Chewie, and young Han are pursuing someone who turns out to be a Kaminoan doctor who has continued the cloning process, right? And so we know that after the Empire has taken over, the Kaminoans are still cloning, and they're still working for the Empire, right? So this is my thought, and I know you don't care for it, Nev, but I am absolutely thinking that they're pulling directly from the old canon, and they're going to have cloned Emperor Palpatine.
Dark Empire
Yeah.
Dark Empire and Dark Empire 2 were excellent comics, and it's much easier to read it as a graphic novel than it is to read it as a comic book. But
Absolutely.
no, Dark Empire was the explanation for why the Empire survived as long as it did immediately after the destruction of the second Death Star, because that big flash of white light after Vader threw Palpatine over the side was the essence of Palpatine basically traveling across the galaxy and heading for a clone.
Yep.
And if you read the graphic novel, Luke Skywalker, who at the time had turned to the dark side but then came back to the light, destroyed all of Palpatine's Sparty tubes.
Yeah.
Or did he?
Well, yeah. And oh my gosh. So that could definitely be the Emperor's essence passing, and maybe he passed to Snoke, who was just on the Death Star. I don't know how it's going to be.
Well, no, he needed the that's one of the reasons why Dark Empire is so good is he was they were explaining that he was so old and decrepit was because his dark force presence in a clone would cause the clone to degenerate much faster than a normal person, and he was going through a lot of clones. He needed a host. So the thing was that the whole point of getting Luke Skywalker was to also get Leia, because at the time Leia was pregnant with Anakin Solo, and he wanted to transfer his essence into the baby so that he would have a fully human, and then he would be able to live out his life as normal. Obviously he failed, but he did touch Anakin Solo in the belly of Leia during Dark Empire. And that's what makes me think maybe J.J. Abrams, because he ran out of ideas really early on in this, during the creating of Episode 9, thought, I've got this big bunch of books and graphic novels in front of me. Oh, Dark Empire, that looks good. I didn't know the Emperor cloned himself. That's a brilliant idea. I'll put that in my movie.
I think that I think that if that's the way he did, I think that's smart, to be honest. Why reinvent the wheel when you have a fan base who loves the wheel as it is?
It's there. The whole cloning thing. Everybody accepts cloning as part of Star Wars literature and Star Wars lore. Many people have been. I mean, Luke Skywalker was cloned, for crying out loud, during the original Thrawn trilogy. In Last Command, and that was an excellent story. So it's no stretch of the imagination for the Emperor to be himself cloned.
True. I 100% agree. Paul,
will be Emperor Palpatine with 2 A's?
Palpatine. Okay. So now that the ice has been broken, Yoda. Baby Yoda. What?
It's not Yoda.
I know, but hold on. You say it's not Yoda. What are the chances that Yoda and Yaddle got together and this is their response?
Yeah, baby.
This is their love baby. And that's why I don't know, that they couldn't figure it out, right? That's why that they couldn't like feel the Force as negative. It was, or feel like the presence of the Sith, because Yoda wasn't wasn't doing all the stuff that he should have been doing, and he lost his powers.
I mean, it would work. I mean, it would work out if you were to go back 50 years. So you're going back a good you're going back a good 40 years before Star Wars: A New Hope. It's between the time of it's between the time of the just before, during, and just after the Clone Wars. So it's not entirely impossible, and it would be it's gonna have the fans, fan theory stuff, the fan theory stuff that's going to come off this one episode alone is going to drive blogs, and it's going to drive forums for weeks. Is it related to Yoda? Is it not related? Because you look on Wikipedia and there's no name for the species.
No.
Right.
There is no name for the species. It is an unknown species.
And
so
it's also driving weekly episodic shows that podcast people put together.
Yeah.
Hey, I've got it. So in the comments here, Zevia said Yoda would have been 800, and I've just got to say, old people, they have needs and they have urges, and it's disgusting to think about for us, but Yoda may have been in his prime, and he and Yaddle, who knows?
Maybe they make like Q, and they just do that, and that's it. A baby is born.
Yeah.
So can we if you're seriously going to go down that road where you think that Yoda and Yaddle had a baby, can we call this Yodel?
Yodel. This is baby Yodel.
The Yoda fan theory. Let's start it.
Yodel fans. I gotta say though that this, I really do believe that this is going to be a huge connecting piece to episode 9. Zori Bliss. I love the idea of seeing Zori Bliss in this. It would be really cool. I do think though that more of this cloning connection is. I think that's where they're going to take a lot of it, and I think that's where it's going.
Let's not forget that we can also and I'd love to see it. I really, really, really want to see it. The surviving members of the surviving Spectre members of the
Phoenix team.
The Phoenix team. It's only 5 years after Return of the Jedi. Now we know that we know the Hot Snips. Mm-hmm. We know that Hot Snips and Sabine went off into the wilderness looking for Ezra. How about they find him? How about they bring that into the Mandalorian?
Well, how about they bring Thrawn as well?
Yeah. I don't care what anyone says. Thrawn is going to be in episode 9. It's just going to happen. I am 100% believing that Thrawn is, he's there. But no,
because I think Taron Egerton would be a perfect Ezra.
Oh, he would.
He would be a perfect Ezra. Cast that guy now. He would be the perfect Ezra.
So
and Zoe Saldana as Hera. Because we've seen her green already. She knows. She's an actress with experience of being green. Yeah. So I think Zoe Saldana would be an excellent Hera, and Yeah, they've got a kid that is going to be even older, learning the ways of the Force, and that child needs a master. So even more reason to bring back. And I'm not saying they bring back these characters to take over the show. I'm saying that they introduce these characters as storylines, and the Mandalorian is there to help the reintroduction of these characters into the Star Wars universe so that they can be, sent back out into the Star Wars universe, and fans will be happy, and then we can get on with another season of the Mandalorian.
They're already in the Star Wars universe, Nev. People are going to be watching this for the first time on Disney Plus right now.
Okay, so I'm going to cut you both off, okay? I'm going to cut you both off.
We're getting too excited, aren't we?
No, not at all. But I'm going to throw this in. Bob Iger last week announced that 3 new shows are being filmed for Disney Plus in the Star Wars universe.
That we haven't heard of?
That we haven't heard of. From what I understand, these are 3 brand new unnamed shows. Okay? Not just 3 shows, not like just Mandalorian Season 2, Cassian Andor, and then there was a third. Kenobi. Yeah.
I was going to say Obi-Wan.
How could I forget that one? But 3 additional shows, right? And part of me believes, I mean, this is a tangent, but part of me knows that this is because the success of episodes 7, 8, 9 have been mixed at best. But these shows could be the way that they move forward. And if they connect the Ezra, Ahsoka, Sabine connection here, just as a tangential storyline, something maybe not huge, it would be a great lead into their own
spin-off.
Yeah, their own show.
Yeah. And if they bring back Thrawn, it's I know that Jason Isaacs did the voice of the Inquisitor in Rebels, but I still think that Jason Isaacs would make an awesome Thrawn.
Yes.
Because he does evil so well.
He does. He absolutely. I'm reading the second Harry Potter book to my kid right now, and I'm just like, every time I see that guy, Malfoy's dad, I'm like,
Lucius
Malfoy.
Lucius. I'm thinking it's that same guy from the Patriot movie with Mel Gibson. He's a terrible person, and if I were to ever see him in public, I'd probably hate him.
Now, if you ever see him in public, you just walk up to him and you say, "Hello, Jason Isaacs."
I mean, I should.
He'll understand the joke. It was a joke started by Mark Kermode. It's people do it all the time.
All right. But
he also played the captain from the first Discovery, if you will, in Discovery. So
that's true.
Yeah.
Sir Boss asks, which book has them finding the lost fleet? Now, is this old canon or new canon? Because that's
old canon. That's It's not Last Command.
Shadow of the Empire?
It's
Is it Shadow of the Empire?
No. It's the one before It's the one before Last Command.
Yeah, Heir to the Empire, Shadow of the Empire, yes. Last Command.
No, it's not. It's not Shadow of the. It's Heir to the Empire, Last Command. God Almighty, it's doing my head in. I'm gonna have to get the book.
As Nev digs through the
through his collection.
And by the way, if you guys also notice on that bookshelf, some lovely pom-pom-tastics. Speaking of Thrawn,
never a reference book when you need one.
Never.
My personal Thrawn pom-pom.
So the reason I ask is, and this Mando live stream has gone everywhere. Because Sir Boss, if you look at Star Wars, the book that just came out, Thrawn Treason, you actually have a moment with Anakin Skywalker, and it shows some
Dark Force Rising.
All right, Dark Force Rising. You see a lost fleet that shows up in Thrawn Treason, but it's a fleet of it's
dreadnoughts.
Not dreadnoughts. It's not dreadnoughts. It's It's
no, sorry,
It's another
dreadnought. Yeah,
yeah, it's another species from the Outer Rim, or from the Unknown Regions that the Chiss have been fighting against. And Grisk, thank you.
That would be really,
yeah.
Because hang on a minute. Did the Yuuzhan Vong get put in that book?
I think they did in the form of the Gris. I think that's
Right,
what the Yuuzhan Vong are, or the Gris are, is the Yuuzhan.
They just
Vong.
got repackaged.
Yeah.
Okay.
I because they're, it's not that they're force sensitive or force immune. There's something, I have to go back and read it, but it's a really solid book. And Timothy Zahn essentially took his old stories and repurposed them for Disney, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, they're still fun and they're still really good reads. Like I've got Treason back here, and I've got Shadow of the Empire. I'm starting to build my hardback book collection, and I'm starting with the Thrawn series. But it is definitely inspired by his new series. Is inspired by this, and knowing that in 2020, Thrawn is coming back in the beginning of a new trilogy. Resistance Reborn is phenomenal. But in the beginning of a new trilogy, I want to believe that Thrawn is one of those characters that we will actually see as a TV show. Because there's so much potential.
TV. I think you hit the nail on the head there. As a TV show,
yeah, I don't think we'll see him in this movie.
Disney need to build on what is going to be a successful TV show.
Mm-hmm.
They need to build on that, not try and rise from the ashes of a not particularly popular sequel trilogy, but lead off from the success and love affair of the fans regarding a new TV show.
Absolutely.
And Thrawn in a TV show, a lot. Oh God, that would just be brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, you because bringing Thrawn back means bringing Ezra back,
mm-hmm.
and that would be another way of really catering to the entire fandom, because we all loved Star Wars Rebels. It was a cartoon, but we still all loved it.
So I 100% agree. Like what is so phenomenal, what I absolutely love about some of the new canon. I know a lot of people don't like it, and it's your prerogative, but Rebels did such a good job building story and building characters. And then if you watch Rebels, especially seasons 3 and 4, I believe, when Thrawn's introduced, and then go and read the new Thrawn trilogy, there's so much that's connected, and it's insane for them not to use that and bridge it into something like a television show, because the love is there. The love is there.
Build on what everybody loves, and slowly but surely let what is divisive kind of fade away into the background.
Mm-hmm.
Build on what everyone loves. So everyone's loving this show right now. Everyone was loving the Clone Wars. Everyone was loving Star Wars Rebels. Build on what everybody agrees with and loves and is going to spend money on. And I mean, if they really want to pursue the whole Resistance First Order thing, fine, but they're only ever going to get half the fandom interested in it, and it's not the half of the fandom that is going to be prepared to pay hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars on the merchandise of said characters and said stories year after year after year.
Yeah.
And I can't wait for the merchandise to start coming out for the Mandalorian.
Hey, it already has.
Yeah.
What? I haven't seen any Black Series yet. Have they released the Black Series stuff yet?
There's a Black Series Mandalorian and an IG-11. That's why I think IG-11 is not dead yet.
No.
Yeah, those things are going to be
no.
rocking horse shit.
Okay.
Everybody is going to want one. I want one.
This is Cara Dune.
Cara Dune.
Cara Dune, which again, I mean the name.
She needs to be beefier.
Well, she's not small.
Yeah, but Gina, she's got that look of her that she could just crush her head between her thighs.
I get it. I 100% it. So this is IG-11, right? Freaking love it. I got it. So I bought these to make a video, but this is one of my favorites. I freaking love. I love him. Nolte is awesome. And then I got the Mandalorian. So like. There is stuff, but it's not a lot. I mean, they haven't done
exactly.
A ton.
That's what makes it wanted. It's that it's rare,
Yeah.
That people have to go out and look for it, not mass produced, and in the ending up in Five Below and the clearance aisle.
Oh my gosh,
Walmart and Myers and all of those stores. You want to. I want to go into a store and see the shelves empty and think, right, okay, I'll just come back in a few weeks once they've restocked, and then you go back and it's still empty. They need to make us want it, like really, really, really want it, and it'll go into a frenzy. I mean, I was in Goodwill yesterday, and there was a pile of Kira figures. I kid you not, there was a pile of Kira figures just sat in the toy section. And I picked one up and I looked at it and I thought, nah.
Too much for my blood.
It was only $3.
I would have bought it.
It was only $3. I saw this T-shirt and instantly had to have it. I saw that and thought, nah.
Yeah. Paul, you've been quiet. Give us some information.
I mean, I'm just loving the interaction between the two of you and the geeking out for the EU that I never really got to understand because of my reading problems. I finally, as you noticed, got.
It's so good. Oh my gosh. Sorry, Paul.
I'm only here.
Oh, okay. So
I'm about 2/3 through, but I'm. This isn't the Resistance spoiler chat. This is
true.
This is the Mandalorian spoiler chat.
Yes. Okay. So back to this.
By the way, I did get the Barnes and Noble version, and I'm using the Chewie and Poe bookmark.
As you should. Okay. So Cara Dune, not Cara. She specifically said it is Cara Dune. There was a live stream last night. There was essentially like a release party for his episodes 1 through 3 out in California or something like that. I'm assuming it's California because that's where all that stuff goes. But it was the entire cast. It was the 4 directors: Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau, Pablo Pascal, Werner Hertz, Werner Hertz, Werner Hertz, and then her. I forget her name. Gina. And like, I gotta say, man, she's a big woman, but she's a beautiful lady. And
oh God, she is hot as balls.
Yeah, she's a beautiful lady. And it was cool to hear her and all of them talk about their connection with Star Wars. Now, I will say this, and I made a comment to some kids the other day. I teach journalism at a local junior high, and I was telling them that I'm going to write a blog post about why I think the Mandalorian will actually save the Star Wars universe, like the TV show, not necessarily the gunslinger in the show, but it's because of the passion involved in the creators. All of these,
it will save Star Wars.
Yeah.
Well, I loved the article that I read about how Dave literally became or is being transferred into the new George Lucas to carry the torch of Lucas's vision of the entire thing. He would shadow Lucas for the longest time on, and even before, you know, we knew the name Dave Filoni. So he's
that needs to be Bob Iger's final thing before he, you know, retires from running Disney and decides to run for president of the United States. He needs to fire Kathleen Kennedy and put Dave Filoni in that position. Closely tied to Jon Favreau. Those two guys should be running Star Wars. Period.
I will agree to an extent. I disagree with your point of view on the sequel trilogy, Nev. I do enjoy it. It's not my favorite thing.
Oh yeah, no,
but,
and that's. I mean, I'm happy. I'm really happy that people get enjoyment out of it, or it would be an even bigger disaster. You know?
True.
And now you're backpedaling and letting Thaddeus like the darn thing. Damn you, Nev.
No, you're entitled to like it, but I'm entitled to disagree with you for the reasons why you like it.
Exactly. I think I am 100% on board with you, Nev. I think that everyone has their own opinion, and you're entitled to your own opinion. If you don't even like Star Wars, that's fine. But one of the things that I really has brought me hope is that, and I'm spacing his name right now, the producer of... or the head, Kevin Feige, is now an active part of the Star Wars Lucasfilm team. And I think that they're phasing Kathleen Kennedy out and bringing him in to replace her. And
I didn't hear that.
Oh yeah, it's been
he's been given one movie.
Yep.
And just that one movie we kind of hope turns into something else. He needs to get out of Marvel while they're getting he needs to leave Marvel while the getting's good.
Yep.
And if he leaves Marvel while the getting's good and moves over to Star Wars, the only way is up for him.
I agree. And I think this is going to be his piece de la résistance. I think with Jon Favreau, with Kevin Feige, and with Dave Filoni, there is
what a team.
There is no downside for Star Wars.
No, none.
I really don't.
None whatsoever.
They're all fans. They're all passionate. Again, and last night as I was watching, and I didn't get to see the whole thing because my youngest daughter came down and she was supposed to be asleep, but we watched the live stream for like 30 minutes. But I missed some of it. But to see their passion, to see them talk about Star Wars with such reverence, and Sir Boss here in the comments makes a joke and he says, unless they bring back Jar Jar, I think they could absolutely. I think under these three gentlemen, they could bring back Jar Jar and still
they could give
do
Jar Jar a standalone film,
and it would be phenomenal. People
Jar
would
Jar
flock to
Origins.
See. Yes. And
in Filoni we trust.
Indeed. I think that it's very likely that this is the dream team that saves Star Wars as a franchise.
Just got to say this. How optimistic do we all sound about the Star Wars universe after one episode of a TV show?
Exactly.
I've not heard optimism like this for ages. Seriously, in fact, I've not heard optimism about the future of the Star Wars IP at all.
Yeah.
Not heard any of it. No optimism whatsoever until now. People are talking about, where could it go? What could it lead? I'm loving it. I really, really am enthusiastic about where this TV show could lead to.
That's absolute bullcrap because you were at Celebration, sir.
Yeah, I was at Celebration. There was no optimism there. I kid you not. I was at Celebration, and when they put the trailer on the big screen for everybody to watch, do you know what got the cheer? Lando Calrissian. Do you know what didn't get cheered? What else got cheered? Nothing else.
Ian McDermott coming out at the end.
Yes, but that is a live act character of a beloved character in the Star Wars franchise.
Yeah.
I'm talking about a trailer for the final movie of a trilogy, and the biggest cheer it got was a very, very small snippet of Lando Calrissian being on the screen. That's not fans being optimistic about, being presented with something great to watch. It should have been, I'm sorry, but a Star Wars trailer should be oohs and ahs throughout the entire 30 or 60 seconds. That's what it was like for this show. I watched all 3 trailers for this show, and I was enthralled by each of them. The movies don't do that for me. This TV show does.
Rise of Skywalker, when Rey is on presumably Endor and is running, and there's a shot that goes off and she deflects it, I oohed.
I'm sure that there were plenty of people that oohed with you. It's just that the people that are oohing with you won't spend thousands of dollars a year on Star Wars merchandise.
Okay.
The people that aren't going ooh aren't spending thousands of dollars on merchandise because they didn't go.
Guess what I consider Star Wars merchandise? Our little digital characters in our damn game that inspired this damn thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Which
Hold
is why
on.
no one gives a rat's ass about the JTR squad anymore.
Let me
irrelevant.
Let me mediate a little bit between this loving but passionate married couple. I've got to say, I agree with both of you here that what Nev's pointing out is that while
What? Are you kidding me?
what did it time out?
It says
No, we
stream
just-
unavailable, stream suspended for policy violations.
What? Timberly blocked because we detected copyright audio. Well, I don't have any other audio going. Weird. What is going on? Are we back? Hold on. Can you guys hear me? I think there was too much sexy in one stream. I have no idea what policy was violated. But I'm trying to boot back up with Paul and NEV. For some reason, I can't log into him. That's what she said. All right. Well, then this is what I'll do. Thanks guys for staying. I think we'll go ahead and finish this conversation tomorrow on the Escape Podcast. Yeah, my video doesn't seem to be working. Thanks for everyone for showing up. I was gonna say, and I'll finish this with my last thought. What I agree with Paul is that there is excitement for the new series, but it's divisive. It is, and it is something that a lot of people either love or they hate. They don't have mediocre feelings most of the time. If they're Star Wars fans, they're not somewhere in the middle. But with The Mandalorian, from everything that we've seen so far, the content, the ideas behind everything, people love it so far. No one has said anything negative about it as of yet. I mean, even the worst reviews that I've read have called it okay, not bad. I mean, people aren't saying it's bad. So I think that I can see Nev's point where he says that, you know, this is the one thing that kind of unites us. But join these gentlemen tomorrow as they present at the Escape Podcast, and they will be talking about Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. You can check me out on this channel. You can't see this, but I have a lot of hand movements right now, even though I don't have a screen showing up. Like, subscribe, share. This has been Thaddeus, my friends. I apologize for the abrupt ending, but smile and stay nerdy.